speaking of the forward line, do you think that now we've seen a glimpse into the future of what the attack will look like without Trent supplying them? Because of the last 4 games, Liverpool have lost 3 times. He's played in one of them, but that came against PSG when he went off injured. And since he's been out, the creativity levels have dropped significantly. Salah's received the ball a lot less, and a lot less quickly. So is this what the future without Trent looks like for Liverpool?
Yeah, it's definitely an issue, and it's definitely something that's massively affected Liverpool. I would agree with that, because I think you look at Liverpool didn't really threaten after he went off against PSG, and they had a lot of momentum, and they were playing very, very well in that game. I think that's kind of gone under the radar, by the way. I think people are kind of lumping these all in together as one performance, but I think PSG, I thought Liverpool were fantastic in that game, and I think particularly if Trent hadn't gone off, they probably would have won it. And of course, you could just win the penalty shootout as well. That could have happened, and I think everyone would have given that performance the credit it deserved. But yeah, I kind of digress there. But yeah, I think after he went off against PSG, they didn't look quite as threatening going forward. And then the Newcastle game, putting pressure on the midfielders. As soon as you do that, Liverpool have no way of getting out, no way of progressing the ball. That's been an issue all season when Trent has missed games. And then, of course, again, against Fulham, the creativity not quite at the level that you used to. So it did, on the surface, it kind of looks like, oh, God, if this is what it's going to be like when he leaves, then Liverpool are in real trouble. But the one thing I would say is that you've got to also mention that it's not just been Liverpool without Trent, it's been Liverpool without any sort of orthodox right back. So, you've had Jarell Quansah there against Newcastle. He could not get the ball forward. They were finding it too easy to box him in and make it difficult for him. Then Curtis Jones, I think he did quite well against Everton, for example, but I think he's not a progressive passer for me. He's someone who retains possession when he's starting in midfield. And so he was getting the ball out at right back and he was completing his passes. He wasn't giving it away. He looked comfortable, but he also wasn't incisive. He wasn't giving Liverpool that creative edge from right back, which they used to. And I think it's telling that, obviously he was in the team against Fulham, but as soon as Conor Bradley comes on against Fulham, all of a sudden Mo Salah is in the game. And, you could say you could credit that to game state a little bit with Liverpool chasing it. But I would also say that, I just think Conor Bradley, he has progression in him. That's what he's all about. He does it in a different way to Trent. He doesn't play the long passes in behind. He's not got that range. I mean, very few players do, but he's a dribbler and he drives forward and he drags players with him and he creates space. So I do think that, I think Liverpool would have been better in that regard if they'd had Conor Bradley rather than Trent over, instead of Jones or Quansah over the last few games. So it's been a kind of combination of missing them both rather than just missing Trent. But I do think going forward, when they go into next season, I do think they have to get progression from elsewhere as well. I think Conor Bradley can provide some of it when he's the starting right back, as I say, with his dribbling. But they have to maybe find more passes from midfield. They maybe have to find more progression from left back as well. They have to find, I've mentioned this before, but maybe even find a centre forward who can hold the ball up incredibly well, so that sometimes if you don't have your cheat code at right back, your left back can't get the ball forward. Your midfielders are being marked really tightly. Sometimes you can just empty it and hit the centre forward and they can get you up the pitch, because Liverpool don't have that in Jota. I think Nunez's hold-up play is very erratic as well. Diaz is okay when it's ball to feet, but he's not natural there. So I think that's another way. And I think they've got to find, and I think Slot is very good at this, as shown so far, is finding solutions. And I think that's something Liverpool will look at, is to find that progression elsewhere in the pitch. Because they have to, because there's nobody like Trent. They won't be able to replace him.
So in your opinion, it's definitely going to take multiple players to replace the impact of Trent across the team?
Yeah, without a doubt. You just, like I say, that you can't sign a right back who can progress the ball in that way, because he's the only one in world football, which is why he's wanted by Real Madrid and why he's been so fantastic for Liverpool. That player doesn't exist. That even the second best to Trent in that regard is nowhere near him. So you've got to replace his qualities in the aggregate, to use the Moneyball phrase. You've got to kind of find ways of doing that, and that is another passer in midfield. It's a left back who can bring the football forward, dribbling. It's like I say, a centre forward who can maybe help you just get out in a very, very simple and simple way by lumping the ball forward. So I think it is going to take multiple players to replace what Trent brings to the team, because he's so unique.